Alright guys, welcome to another beer review. Got some food cooking in the background. It's sort of like, it's gnocchi with kassler, which is sort of like a cured pork with broccoli and I forgot what it's called, cauliflower, and then with like a bechamel sauce with cheese on top. Don't know why I told you that, so hopefully I can get this review done before that's finished, which is in 11 minutes, so fingers crossed. But anyway, we're going back over to Russia today, and we're going to a brewery that I've wanted to try for a hell of a long time, and I know my good friend Harry over at Bluenose Beer Reviews is, I'd say, a fan of this brewery, and likewise, especially of this sort of beer in general. Is Dean from Dean's Beer Reviews, so I'm sure they will have reviewed at least some of the Baltika beers, so I'll put those links down below. And yeah, discovered a new little sort of Eastern European supermarket, and they've got like a whole wall of beers from Russia, the Czech Republic, the Ukraine, all over the place, and so expect some hopefully live reviews involving one, two, or all three of us. But yeah, so I thought I'd start off with the strong stuff from Baltika, and we are looking at Baltika 9, which is the extra, which is described on Untapped as a Euro strong lager. So is it something along the lines of like a Doppelbock maybe? There's so many different offshoots of styles, especially on websites like Untapped, which is where I got my information from. But yeah, I love the artwork on this one. I love the typography. I just love the layout of it. It's one of those ones where you see very similar sorts of labels throughout the world of macro beer, and yeah, you get some on the back as well. Nice label on the neck, and there's even a unique crown for each bottle. So this is clocking in at 8%. And this is in a 450ml bottle. The great thing about these guys is they've got a bottled on date and a best before date. So this was bottled on the 28th of the 4th 2017, and it goes off on the 28th of the 4th 2018. So yeah, somewhat fresh, and it's imported by Baltika Deutschland. So not sure if Baltika has their own little division back in the UK and stuff, and yeah, it's a twist-off cap, which I didn't realise. I think the last Russian beer that I reviewed was a twist-off cap as well. Using my Eichhofner glass, because I've not used this one for a while. So yeah, apologies about the fly, it's been pestering me all day. And yeah, so a strong lager from Russia. This should probably put hers on the chest. Anyway, beer in a glass then, and that is crystal clear, straw-like in appearance, nice golden colour to it. Nice and pale, actually. Beer poured with about one finger's worth, or about half a finger's worth of a white, compact head. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's a really strong beer, and it doesn't actually really look like I thought it would in terms of the Doppelbock. Maybe a Hellas Doppelbock, almost, or a sort of like malt liquor almost. But yeah, certainly looks good. Let's give it a sniff. It's got a real oomph to it, but not in like an alcohol sense, if that makes sense. Very sherbety in terms of like its lemon character. Get like a nice caramel almost aroma coming from it. It's going to sound weird and like a cop out, but it smells a lot browner than it actually is, if that makes sense. Maybe even like a hint of a really faint milk chocolate in there. Grassy, like wet grass. A little bit herbaceous, like a mixed salad almost. I mean, it's got that sort of like perfumey alcohol aroma to it, but it's not a really like bam in your face sort of alcohol kick. by all accounts, it smells like a fairly decent beer. So, without any further ado, let's give it a taste. Cheers. Wow. Definitely pick up the alcohol on the back end. And a remarkably smooth and velvety beer as well. Well, the alcohol's really coming out on the back end after you've taken a sip. It sort of reminds me of like the aftertaste of brandy, almost. Yeah, that alcohol is not masked at all. Sweet, it's chewy, carbonation comes up on the back end. It does have a slight metallic flavour in there as well. It's not an overly offensive beer, but at the same time it's not a really pleasant drinking experience, and this has been in the fridge for a little while, so that's probably taken a little bit of that harshness off in terms of the alcohol. Yeah, it's how just like booziness, like when you've had a night out or something and you can smell or taste the alcohol and smell it on your breath. It's got that sort of that feel to it, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's getting quite medicinal as well as I'm talking. The more I'm talking about this beer, the smaller the satisfaction of it. But on the other hand, with all those things considered, not the worst thing I've ever drank. But yeah, you could definitely imagine this putting hairs on your chest on a cold Russian winter. Yeah, give this to your kids before they go to school, warm them up, set them off right. But yeah, you would not expect that like strength from a beer that pale. You really, really wouldn't. One last taste, I'll give it a rating. Slight fruity tones, but it's like that. It's that medicinal, almost like vitamin tablet dissolving in water character that I'm getting. I'm glad I've tried it, but unless I'm doing like a live review with someone else, don't know if I'll pick this one up again. It cost me less than €1 for a bottle, so price wise, nothing to complain about. The beer itself, really nothing to complain about. But it's one of those beers where you can imagine you'd feel the after effects a lot longer than, let's say, a Doppelbock, a German brew Doppelbock at this strength. The alcohol is just, it's just not pleasant for me. But I've had much worse. So in terms of a rating, great curiosity piece, don't get me wrong, I'm glad I've ticked this off the list. I'm going to be picking up as many Baltika beers now that I find them available for less than €1. And I will try more of them. But yeah, this beer, I'm going to take my time with the rest of this, to be honest. Don't know if it's going to complement the food well, but yeah, not awful, but not exactly the best drinking experience that I've ever had. So in terms of rating then on the Baltika 9, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. If that alcohol was masked a little bit more and it didn't actually have like medicinal taste, it'd be like a 7, you know, fairly solid, run-of-the-mill beer that you'd buy on a somewhat regular basis. But yeah, the only time you're ever going to see me drink this again on camera is if I'm doing a live review with other people. Because it's one of those beers that you could talk about with people. You could discuss beer. It brings up many great discussion points about like the Russian beer scene and the Baltika Brewery and like strong lagers. So there's a lot to talk about with a beer like this. But a beer to just sit back and enjoy? No, I don't think so. So if you have tried this one, as always, let me know your thoughts, opinions down below in the comments. So what's your favourite beer from the Baltika Brewery? Give me your recommendations. Give me your recommendations for more Russian beers. It's only a small playlist thus far of me recording this, but I've got 2 more as of recording this Russian beers in the playlist, so I welcome you to check that one out. I'm sure there will be more added in the future. Check out Harry, check out Dean. If anybody else has reviewed this who are following on a regular basis, their reviews are down below. Check out Baltika, all that sort of stuff. Check out all the social media links. Follow me on all the usual places. And more importantly, I hope you join me next time for another beer review. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I shall see you later. At least I didn't go on for 15 fucking minutes this time.